Welcome to our first episode of Behind Closed Doors, lessons from 40-plus years of shrinking heads. I got my pal Bob McCoy here, who's done this magnificent painting, and it's a painting of what's happened to you over the last 8-9 years. Yeah. So, I'm Dr. Michael Sheehan, and this is Bob McCoy. We're talking about these lessons, and Bob's got the lessons, and this is actually a painting that Bob did for us. He did for me. The story is I've been talking with Bobby for a long time about wanting to share what I learned in 50 years of shrinking heads, actually. And Bob decided to do the cover for the book for me, and there it is. Bob's got some of the best stories from my lessons, and Bobby, why don't you describe the painting and what's going on in the painting, and your own history with me and with lessons.
Well, you asked me to paint a painting for you for a book cover, and you said the title is Behind Closed Doors, Lessons Learned from 40 years plus years of shrinking heads. I said, well, the only thing I can think of is my head and your couch. And you tell the dog to get off the couch. Mm-hmm. But
that's the dog, by the way.
Yeah, that's
here.
the dog.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started thinking, well, okay, how was I before now? And I painted on this side. I'm wearing a Cubs hat. My face is down, I'm smelling a rose, everything's like real rosy, you know. I got my car in the background, 64 and a half Mustang, and my girlfriend's house is next to it, and a church in the background, and a balloon, we were going to go on a balloon ride.
And there's the balloon.
Yeah, we were going to go on a balloon ride on our honeymoon, and then Vietnam came. I went to Vietnam. Instead of wearing a Cubs hat, I'm wearing a Company C 34th Combat Engineer type hat with a helmet. I'm in the middle of the battlefield. You could see bombs bursting off, men going through rice paddies, a half-blown building. All this stuff was in my head. I stayed 2.5 years over in Vietnam, and when I was asked to paint this painting, I did one face, then I did the other face, and I said, what's going to go in between? 37 faces went in between. There's one face in there of my wife and child, and they were killed over in Vietnam. I was going to send them home. I didn't know if I was going to live or die over there, so that's why I married a Vietnamese. She got pregnant. She was half French and half Vietnamese. Had a little baby girl. And during a rocket attack, we were firing rockets over the city at them, over the village, and they were firing rockets, M50s over at us. And rounds fell short in the village, and that's how she was killed. I also put a frog's picture in here somewhere, where an orange bullet is going through his head. We were on guard duty, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and behind the Jeep came to get us supplies. We threw a rope with a 5-gallon bucket on it down to the guys, and they put new supplies in it. We all hold it up, and he got a letter from home saying his wife just had a baby girl. And he opened it, and he's standing up near the guard tower, and he goes, and he never got the word girl out, because that envelope went through his nicest head, and a bullet round went through the envelope, and his side of his head went in the guard tower. Also, I have Slimmer, one of my best friends. We're on minesweeping detail. We go on minesweeping detail in my company to get the day off. First you go minesweeping detail, and then you burn shit, you know, and clean out the outhouses, and then you also when you're done, you take a shower and you get a pass to the village. Well, the day before, we were out on a job site, and Slimmer, I drove a 5-ton dump truck, and Slimmer drove a 5-ton dump truck, and we always followed each other. Well, he got to the bridge first, and they were taking on sniper fire. And when they took it on sniper fire, Slimmer saw the big, where the firefight was coming, the rounds were coming from a grassy area. So he took his M16 and emptied the clip in the grassy area. He ran up to the grassy area and found a girl called Little Bit. A girl called Little Bit in Vietnam, and Phu Vinh we were taken care of because Little Bit was in her family home. VC came and told Papa San they want this, they want that, and they said no. And because they wanted their oldest son, a 15-year-old son, he said no. And Papa San, when he said no, they killed everybody in the family but her. They raped her, she was 7. And she left her there. She went down to the village. The next time the VC come, they get everything they want. You know, so.
And,
But
Slimmer took care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Little Bit came adopted by the village and loved by the post, because he's always selling Coke and always selling ice cream and outside a post.
Kid you got close to.
Yeah. And Slimmer, my best friend, got real close to her and sent away, she never had a toy, so sent away for a stuffed animal, a stuffed bear, or a Raggedy Ann doll, that's what it was. And she took that doll like people, ladies out in the field have their babies strapped to their back, and that's how she had her doll, always. And when Slimmer shot them, he ran up to him and saw that was Little Bit, 20 miles away from the village. He had a fit. He just dumped his load right there and turned around and took off. And I took off after him, and the Captain Moore said, "You stay with him tonight, you know, go out and go get drunk or something." So we did all night long, and all night long he wouldn't say nothing. The next morning we went on minesweeping detail, which it was hop in a truck, go out to the laterite pit and minesweep for mines on the road. I was 10 feet behind him on one side of the road. He was 10 feet ahead of me on the other side of the road. There was a Jeep 10 feet behind me in the middle of the road of minesweepers, two minesweeping guys. Slimmer said, "Mind," and he bent down and he curled around it. You know, it was a 60-pound anti-tank mine. Slimmer, I said, "What are you doing? Why is it taking you so long?" What you're supposed to do is reach, when you see a mine, you dig around it. There's a plunger, and around the plunger there's a sleeve, and you take the plunger, take a grenade first away from your pouch, pull the pin, throw the grenade away, keep the pin, take the plunger of the mine and push it down into the sleeve where there's a little hole, and put the pin in, tie a string, and then go back about 10 feet, lay flat, and pull the pin. When that plunger goes up, it'll blow up. Slimmer's, I said, "You know how to do it, do it." And he said, I can't stand it anymore. I don't mind killing gooks. I just don't like killing kids, especially a little bit. And he started to cry. And I said, "Slimmer, we'll talk about it later. Do the mine thing. Well, come over and do it for me." I said, no, it's your thing, no. And he stepped on the mine, pushed the plunger down with his foot. He says, "Come help me." I said, "No." And he said, "See him?" Just like that, he he blew up. I've learned through Doxian to not relive it anymore. I learned not to relive it so I can tell it, so I can tell these people who still suffer from post-traumatic stress, it's okay to talk about it, but it's not okay to relive it over and over and over again. It hurts. The painting I painted 37. Number 37 was Slimmer's 5-ton dump truck number. And we were going to, after the service,
That's why the 37 faces?
yeah, that's why the 37 faces.
Yeah.
But I painted other people in it. I painted the gook I saw alongside the road. He was dead. And some GIs were just poking at him, taking their gun or weapon, and then boom, boom, shoot him. You know, playing with the dead. I didn't like that. The VC were laid across the road, and notes were put on them, the dead VC, and they lay there for 3 days, and then the villagers would bury them. I didn't understand my head. I mean, I come home, and all these memories were inside my head. This is the first one I killed, the Tet Offensive. God, it was beautiful. That's the first thing I thought of when it was right outside post. Napalm bombs going off everywhere, and rockets, and people shooting and stuff, and all kinds of hassle. And all of a sudden there's a VC. I had to do what I did. And I was a religious person. I grew up in the church family, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I go to Nam. I mean, I was...
Felt not killed.
When I went to Nam, it was... Everything was gone. Everything was totally different.
Yeah, right.
When I came home, everything was... I thought I landed in the wrong country. Because
And you were hassled when you came home.
I was hassled when I come home.
Yeah.
I said, what is this? And the camp driver says, get rid of the uniform.
Yeah, yeah.
Take it away.
Didn't he actually not take you because you were in
Yeah,
uniform?
one actually didn't take me home. 2 miles. They wouldn't take me 2 miles to my house.
After going to war and going through all of that, you come home to be not welcomed and treated like like the enemy instead of like the hero that you are.
Yeah, I thought I was a loser. I said, wow, you know. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why I was. I told my girlfriend, who waited 3 years, we were going to get married. I came home. I was sitting on her couch, visiting her. Her nephew come. It was February 3rd or February 4th, 1970, and her nephew come running into the other room, in the living room, with his air rifle that he got for Christmas. And I flashed back to Vietnam. I says, duck, Slimmer, the bastard has a weapon. Excuse my French. And I pushed her into the coffee table, thinking I'm shoving her down, Slimmer, into the ditch. Jumped over the coffee table, grabbed the kid by the weapon, and flung him. And he goes scooting across the saline and hit his head on a chair and bounced on the cushion, soft cushion, and bounced on the floor. He thought it was fun. He said, wow! And within 10 seconds, my foot was on his chest, and the butt of the weapon was going down toward his forehead. And my girlfriend screamed. And I snapped out of it, about that far from his head. And I just shook. I didn't know what to do. I come through Behind Closed Doors. I thought that was a neat title because I came to sober up long enough to meet a couple people that says, hey, you got a VA, you got something coming. Come to the vet group with me. Well, I'm not going to go to the vet group. They told me in the 70s they had nothing coming. And, oh, yes. So I went. I met Chin. And I said, wow. I'm starting to feel something, or I'm coming out of my shell from alcoholism because I drank in the woods alone. That's
For how many years, Bobby?
How many years did I drink?
after the war.
1970, 9 years ago I quit.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, I had periods where I was sober a year and 2 months. I put myself through high school then.
Yeah.
From a second grade level down up to a high school level. Graduated a straight A student with honors and plus a college degree. A certificate for 2 years. Free. I never showed up. I drank too much. I congratulated. I patted myself on the back too hard. It's kind of neat because if I says, well, I deserve one at least. One drink won't hurt me. And all of a sudden, 4 years later, after that first drink, I'm in prison. 8 years later, I'm out of prison. 2 years later, I'm off parole. Parole officer hands me the paperwork and says, "You're off parole." I waited 10 minutes. He waited 10 minutes. I said, "My watch says 5. Your watch says 10 after." So 1 minute after 5, I reached in and I pulled out a pint. I said, "You want a drink?" He called me a fool. He says, "Go get help." Now I'm sober 9 years. And I understand now why I drank so much.
Yes. It's really, really common with guys with PTSD because it wipes out the pain. The fundamental unconscious equation is what's really relevant here that Bobby and I have talked a lot about and that I talk to all the guys about. And the fundamental unconscious equation goes like this. The more you care, the more it hurts. The more you're emotionally invested in your kid and your wife and Slimmer and all your friends, the more you cared, the more it hurt. So when you experience this, what we do psychologically is we create this barrier around ourselves, this bubble, this wall.
Right.
And we don't let people in. And drinking is really convenient because that's a great way to wipe people out and keep them out. And I know for years Bobby lived under a bridge.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a trailer to live in, perfectly good trailer, but I couldn't live in that trailer at night.
Yeah.
Looked like a bunker.
Right.
And it sounded like a bunker. And sometimes I had nightmares of the bunker because one guy in the bunker, it's when the rounds come in 2 o'clock in the morning, you hit for the bunker. The first man in shishes all the snakes away. I never was the first man. But the man in the middle lights a candle, and they light a candle, and when the rounds stop, you have to blow out the candle. And then you listen for 10 minutes and see if any ground attack or ground rounds coming in, and then it's safe to go peek your head out of the window, out of the bunker.
Right.
Which is just a long hole in the ground with a curved roof with sandbags on it. Harmon decided one night we're getting rounds in, and we lit the candle, and they stopped, and he blew out the candle. He waited. Nothing's coming. He picked his head up, and boom. And I said, "Uh-oh." And I, "Get back down here." And I pulled him down. He had no head. I lit the candle, and that's what I saw. I said, "Blow out the candle, quick." So in AA, they have such a thing as candlelight meetings. I can't go to one because of the candle smell. I went to one and I freaked out. I went to one last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've actually been able to...
Just to see.
Yeah, well, this is one of the ways we push back the PTSD. After talking about it, Bobby wanted to push it back, wanted to be able to do the candlelight ceremony.
And guess what? I stayed for the whole meeting.
All right, Bobby.
I even blew out a candle.
All right.
I even smelt the candle. And I did flash back to that time.
Yeah.
But I didn't relive it.
Yes.
And that's why the painting, because I'm
put it in the painting.
together.
Get it out of you and put it in the painting.
Right.
I have been absolutely thrilled to work with the guys that, like Bobby, that I've been able to work with. I work with almost exclusively Vietnam vets now, most of which are guys Bobby knows. Every single one of them has done well for 7, 8 years now,
Right.
and have stayed sober, whereas they were all alcoholics, they were all violent, they all went to prison, they all had terrible, terrible war experiences, and now can talk about them and can talk about life.
Talk about life. I mean,
one of the things I want to be careful about here is that we don't run too long. We're gonna bring you back and talk some more and have you tell some more stories.
Okay.
But this is our introductory show. I just wanted to let you folks know what I've been listening to for the last 8, 9 years and what I've been dealing with. And every single guy that I talk to, I've asked, is it okay to tell your story? Is it okay to let other people know? Every single one of them says the same thing. Yes, I want the world to know what happened to me. I don't want it to happen to other people. And I think most of them have ended up anti-war. And not very comfortable with the threat of going to war. So God bless you all. We'll be back. Thank you, Bobby. God bless you, man.
Yeah.